If there's oil under your Harley, that's a good enough sign that it has some, but to avoid spilling oil all over your driveway or your buddy's bike for your next oil change, you might want these accessories to keep another BP spill from happening. First thing you're going to need is a proper oil filter wrench. Your old strapped one might not have the clearance for the crankshaft position sensor, O2 sensors, pipes, frame, and regular. Therefore, they make a filter wrench with a cutout. Something that's critical and that a lot of people forget to check is the tightness of the nipple adapter that holds in the oil filter, OE 26352-95A. It's just threaded in there with red Loctite, and if it vibrates out, it's game over for the motor if the person doesn't notice oil flying all over them and shut down the motor. Determine whether you will be doing a quick change, motor oil only, or a full fluid change, which is only worth your time if you're going to be changing fluids, which includes the motor oil, transmission or gear oil, and the correct primary fluid that the clutch prefers, mineral or synthetic. If you're going to be doing any other work in the future, you should probably get a service manual or save up for one. And in the meantime, there's climbers for first timers, same with Haynes. And if you don't have either, you can check and see if amsoil.com might have your required fill spec. 99 to current twin cam and M8s pretty much use all the same filter. Just choose whether you want a chrome or black one and whether you want an 11/16 nut at the top. Or you can get a smooth one. We prefer high flow filter. The best bang for your buck filter wrench would be OEM 44067. Gyms and V-twin manufacturing also have a low profile filter wrench to avoid oil coolers and sensors. The Evo Industries billet filter is our customer's favorite and the best one if you're doing them consistently. A gasket either seals or it doesn't, and when you take it off, it's no longer sealing. So for the primary, you'll need a derby cover gasket or O-ring, and both on many models, so check your OEM diagram to see what your model takes. Anytime you remove a drain plug, have the correct amount of O-rings, OEM reference 11105, and for older models, check your microfiche for 1999 and below. If you're lazy like me and not trying to waste your life running around for stupid parts, I would go with the V-twin manufacturing primary service kit. Just note you might have to get an additional primary derby cover gasket or derby cover O-ring if your model requires it to complete the service. And if you're given the choice, I would recommend ordering Cometic gaskets, but Genuine James can get the job done if you just need to get by. Many models are different, so always check your microfiche and just enter the OE numbers in there. It should speed you up. 07 and up FLs will probably have this O-ring, and then just get your correct derby cover gasket to go with it. Draining and filling the primary on your own can be a little challenging if you don't have a lift table, so just ask a friend to hold the bike up for you while you drain it, and then while you're taking off the derby cover and retorquing it to spec. A oil filter catch comes in handy to not spill oil all over your regulator, motor mounts, and whatever else you have on your frame. Ernst 960 is the most versatile one. V-twin manufacturing has something similar with a rubber hose so you can drain it into your pan. And then for 17 and up, they have a new one, 627-00199. 2009 to 16, they added this stupid drain pan, so that's why they make this drain tool so you can stick that up there and pull your drain plug without getting it all over. Even your best funnel will make a mess when trying to fill your primary, so that's why they make these primary oil fill funnels. For 84 to 06, that will be OEM 627-00015. And for 07 to current FL, it's going to be OE 63797-10. And for 18 up softail models, it's OEM 627-00239. Before you take off any drain plugs, you'll probably want this thread sealant stick. Once you have the drain plugs off, you'll replace the O-rings with a little pick. Be sure to check your thread per inch before ordering a new drain plug if it's damaged. Even though they look almost identical, be sure to check your OEM reference or your microfiche to get your correct drain plug. Most 99 up twin cams are going to have a 5/8 outside diameter and then a 1/4 inch inside, except for this 04 to 06, it's weird. so many torques on these new bikes you wouldn't regret. Astro 94410T. You'll be thanking yourself down the road if you get a wear tool set. This should hopefully get you started doing your own oil change with the tools, accessories, and the parts required, and using your service book and wit to save hundreds doing it yourself. Get your motor oil, trans, and primary in the appropriate derby cover and drain plug O-rings, and inspection cover when applicable. If you need to replace your clutch cable, you might as well do this at the same time because you'll have to remove the clutch release cover gasket and all your trans fluid will drain out at the same time. When you go to drain your drain plug, it should just dribble and bubble out until you remove the oil cap. If it's free flowing before then, you likely have air rushing in your breather bolts, which is why there would be so much oil buildup in your air filter, likely from a failed umbrella valve or clogged breathers. They separate the air and oil and allow the air to get out of the crank and keep the oil. They wear out over time as it's just rubber in a hot head. If the breathers aren't warped, this kit is a great value for what you pay for, and then you can do their cam chain tensioners too. The perfect upsell to keep them happy and going longer. If you're doing this on the daily, Cometic gaskets are top notch, then you just buy the breathers separately and it'll be a lot cheaper. If you're going to go this far, you're probably going to want the Motion Pro rocker box wrench and the exhaust wrench by V-Twin Manufacturing. When you remove the exhaust, be sure to inspect all the clamps, muffler mounts, and replace any bad hardware. Inspect the flanges to make sure they're not heat warped, and replace your studs if they're clapped. While this did go past oil changes, this is a lot of the little stuff I see people come in for all the time, so you might as well do it preventative and ride longer than your buddies.